Yeah.
Cool. So we'll have you guys sit in these 2 seats. That's good for you. Hi, I'm Caroline. Hey, it's so good to meet you. I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I am now.
Do you want me to call you Caitlin or Amaria?
Kate is fine.
Kate?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see. So I have to be on the 5 o'clock news, so I don't have all that much time for this. So
no worries.
I normally would chat a little bit longer and like make you feel more comfortable and then get into what happened.
No,
but we'll have to get straight to it. I feel so bad. Okay, I have my IFB, but I don't know like if it's working or not out here. Okay, I think it's working. Cool.
Sorry about that. Just a reminder, they're directional mics, so please speak into the mic.
Yeah, so we have to be
Yeah.
really close to the mic. I'll go ahead when I get there. Go ahead. Oh, that's weird. Get out of here. I just got engaged. So. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, are you guys rolling? Oh, can I get a mic check from you?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
All right, we are good to go. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. All right, Kate or Amaranth, as people know you online, you have such a large following, and you went through a really scary situation here in Houston where you live. What happened?
It was about a week ago now, but we had a break-in actually. I was going to bed early, and he was staying up to take care of the animals. And then I hear really loud bangs coming from beneath my bedroom. And so I call him, and I said, "Did you hear that?" He said, "No." He was actually, he was taking a poop actually. He didn't hear it. He said, "It's probably the dogs," because we have golden retriever and a border collie, and they like to jump on the table and make like a whole bunch of noise. But I didn't think it sounded like the dogs, and I know what they sound like. This was much louder. So I told him I was going to lock the door anyway, just to be safe for the bedroom and then the balcony doors that we have. And for him to call me when he wants to come in. And so I try to go back to sleep, and then a few minutes later I hear more loud bangs at my door this time. And I called him and I was like, "Is that you?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, someone is trying to come in here." And then they shot down my door. These 3 guys came into my room, turned all the lights on, and then they had the gun pointed at me and told me, "Stand up, stand up." And so they cornered me into a chair in my room and like were interrogating me, asking me where the crypto is. I said, "Where's the crypto?" over and over. And I kept telling them, "I don't know what you're talking about," because I don't know how to give that to you. That's a digital currency. And then they said, "Hit her." And so with the gun to my head, one of the guys, and the other one started pistol whipping me. And they hit me 3 times. Luckily though, since I took boxing training actually like 2 years ago, I instinctively like defended myself, so my face is okay. I do have like a laceration on my head, but it's like in my hair, so you can't really notice it luckily. But yeah, they had hit me about 3 times, and then I figured out like they're not gonna reason. They're obviously crazy because like I don't know what they're wanting from this, and I decided to just pretend that I know where crypto is. And so I decided to lead them over to my husband, who was still on the phone with me this whole time.
Yeah, she had on speakerphone, so I heard all of that, and it gave me just like a moment to kind of compose myself and then decide what to do. And like in that moment, things that the cliches are true. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall back to your level of training or whatever. And so like I hear that on the phone, and like luckily I have my concealed carry firearm like close by, and so I didn't pull up my briefs, grab the gun, and then luckily I'm kind of an over preparer, so I have this like Kevlar vest by the door, and I slip that on, and I'm running across, and she's still on speakerphone, and I can hear that like she's convinced them to kind of start looking for this crypto, I guess, cold storage device, and like luckily our entire complex is laced with cameras already. And so I pulled them up, and I could kind of follow them. There's a little bit of delay, but I could follow them through the house. And so then I thought about it for a second, and I was like, where could she be taking them? And there's only one place in the structure I was in where my man cave thing is. I'm there, obviously. She knows I have a gun. but also in that same structure, we have a panic room, like 10 inches plated thick and all that. And so it was one of the two places. So I figured I could set up a spot where I could hopefully tilt the advantage a little back in my favor from a 3v1, because it was 3 armed guys with masks and gloves. It's a scenario that you never think about, right? And then her being on the phone the whole time, it feels like a Liam Neeson movie. The only thing that didn't happen was, I didn't talk to the bad guys on the phone.
Yeah.
So it was super surreal even as it was happening. Yeah.
That is surreal, and I watched your live stream when you were going through the story about 16 hours ago, and it was crazy to hear. And you do have so many home cameras, and you tweeted out to your 3.8 million followers on X that video of you kind of running to that other structure, and then you could hear the gunshots go off. What were your thoughts during that moment?
Well, I was just running from them. I didn't know how far they were behind me, so I didn't want to go to the panic room because it's quite a heavy door. So if they're not sufficiently behind me enough, they could just like trap me in there. And so instead, I went upstairs because I know that's where he is, and that's where we have like some more guns, and he has like an armored vest up there. And luckily, he was able to time it correctly, because as soon as I went around the corner of the staircase, he told me to duck. And so I just like crouched on the side of the staircase, and then he shot. Well, there was 3 bullets. I don't know if they're all his or if they were shooting back. So he says he shot twice.
That's what I was going to ask. Did they return fire, or how did that pan out?
It's unclear. There's like a weird marking that, because like once a bullet, impacts or even grazes the surface, the trajectory is like impossible to figure out. There's like some really suspicious going upwards markings along the wall, but like we never found, the actual where the bullet ended up. And so maybe down the road, because it's hard, because even the ones I fired that we could find, one of them was very clear and easy, hole in the wall. The other one was like, I guess, the bullet hit the guy and it fragmented, and then you just get tiny little metal shards all over the wall. Like, that's hard to,
Yeah, you could hear the suspect saying that he had been hit. Now, I did reach out to HPD. I know they're investigating, and you guys said, was that yesterday when you were doing the Aiden live stream?
Yes.
That someone has been arrested. I haven't gotten that confirmed yet, but that's what you've heard from the detective?
And we're okay to say that too,
Okay.
that one person has been apprehended, and because partly I think like they have to put it out there, so I think it's searchable if someone knows what they're doing, so that's public already, yeah.
Now, when this was all happening, you didn't get any alerts on your phone that there was movement on your property, or are all your cameras more facing the house, or how does that work?
So that was like because we went back and tried to figure out, because there's a camera right above the spot where they basically sawed and then kicked in some of the fence panels. And for whatever reason, because it happens, right? These are like, we're getting better cameras now, but like they disconnect or whatever. And like, just as luck would have it, the moment they gained entry, although we have audio, there's no visual of it. Like it just kind of blacks out for a bit. I don't think they have like a jammer or anything like that. It was just like, you could hear sawing, and then, the big thud when they kick it in. And then it's almost like, on the cameras, it's like, oh, and then they just teleported to right in front of the garage, which it just cut out for 5 minutes or something like that.
Okay, interesting. Well, and then you heard those loud noises, and then all of a sudden someone's at your bedroom door.
Yeah.
It almost sounds similar to that story of Kim Kardashian when she got robbed in Paris, but we're talking about crypto here. Had you put out online that you had all this crypto, or like how would they even know of that?
Yeah, well, we've tweeted about it before, but it didn't matter if people come looking for crypto, right? Because it's like, of all the things you want to steal, there's computers everywhere, there's nice cars, they want the crypto.
So they didn't go after anything else, they just wanted the crypto.
Yeah, that's what they said, yeah.
How crazy. What do you say to people who are public figures who put themselves out online? Because this was so scary, and it's interesting that they could find where you live and track you down like that. What's your message?
If your state allows it, definitely learn how to protect yourself. And he's only so good of a shot, because he went to training at the gun range for however many months you've been doing, like a year maybe?
Yeah.
So
just over a year, yeah.
Wow. I mean, there's people that have followed you for a while, and they weren't even aware that you live in Texas. I know that. Have you been super public where you live?
Yeah, I have.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah. It's really hard to hide stuff.
What about for those followers who are saying that this was staged and that this was all a plot for views?
It's crazy. Some guy shot. He, one of them has been arrested. So it's like, it's clearly not. Like, I had wounds and I went to the hospital and there's medical records. So like, to say that it's fake is just brain rot, I think, at this point.
And how are you doing in your recovery process, both mentally and physically?
We are definitely upping security, looking to get some definite guard dogs, because my golden retriever did not help the situation at all. But yeah, I think we're just trying to take it day by day. We're both thankful to be here still, and it could have been a lot worse for sure.
Wow, that's so scary. I'm so glad that you came and shared your story. Is there anything else that either of you would like to add about this whole situation panning out?
I can add something, which is like, a lot of people think like who fired the shot is like who saved the day, but I've always said, and I still say, that like I credit her with saving both of our lives, because if I think about me being in her shoes, laying in bed, the door gets kicked in, shot in, whatever, and then she gets put in a corner in a chair, and then they just start hitting her. Like, if I was in that position, I don't know if I'd be clear thinking enough to be like, okay, what do they want? Okay, this is what they want. Okay, I'm gonna tell them I can get them this, and I'm gonna calmly lead them through the house, and also I'm on speakerphone so that either I have time to call the police and or get ready, or both, right? And then lead them kind of to me in a way that like is very plainly visible and knowable to me, right? Like, that's pretty great. And then ducking, when I yell duck, like that's a lot of
and tweeting. You were able to get tweets out, or
He's actually.
So that was actually me.
oh my gosh,
I didn't have my phone because they took it trying to find the Coinbase app that I don't
Yeah.
even have on my phone.
wow.
Yeah.
So the tweets that you put out were after the fact, or
Yes, right after. So basically, the guys were right behind her, and she ducked. They turned the corner. They lined up, like but the first guy blocking the other two guys from view. And so I aimed at the first guy, and then he shouted something at me, which I won't be able to remember. And then he starts to kind of bring his arm around, like bring his weapon to bear. And that's when I yelled something that I don't want to repeat on here back, and then fired 2 or 3 shots, depending on how you do the events. And then you could tell the guy got hit because he kind of stumbled back, and then his friends grabbed him, and they all ran. And then I had a choice where I could give chase or I could pull her up to safety. And so I grabbed her, pulled her up, locked the door, told her to hide in the room, and then I stood guard behind the door. But at that point, I'd already called the cops, right? And we got disconnected sometime during the firefight. And so it was like, our biggest fear is that because she gets swatted a lot, which means like people prank call saying some crazy thing had happened, that even when I was calling the cops, it's like, hey, we have multiple home invaders and they are armed. And I was like, man, this sounds like someone's making a prank call. And so part of it was like, okay, so what can we do to ensure that the first responders can get her as fast as possible? It's like, let's tweet about it, because at some point, followers reaching out to the police department because they know where she lives, it becomes, it goes beyond the threshold of being able to believe it's assault. Wow. So that was the whole idea, and then I called them again right after the tweet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing that you knew how to use your gun quickly, and you were able to think under pressure like that, or we could be talking about a completely different story.
Definitely.
Wow. Well, thanks so much for being strong enough and brave enough for coming on Fox 26 and sharing your story. I think that a lot of people are going to be interested in hearing this firsthand account, because it really sounds like a movie.
Yeah, it feels like a movie. Like I sometimes wake up and I'm like, did that really happen? But the bullet holes are still on our wall, and his blood is still on the wall too. So I guess it did happen. And we have the video footage and everything still.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I hope that you can recover fully. I don't know how you would ever recover fully from something like this, but I'll be thinking of you guys and praying for your safety.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. All right, thank you, guys. I hate to rush out. I'm sorry we had to do this so quickly, but we will have this. We'll have this in our newscast later and on our website, and I'll share it on my social media. And I think a lot of people are going to be. It's a different audience than on YouTube and stuff. So I think that people will really, really want to hear from you. So thank you again. It was so nice meeting you. Are you going to the rodeo?
Later this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your outfit's perfect.
Thank you.
I love it. Some crazy stuff has been happening at that rodeo, so be careful there as well.
Like what?
I'm Caroline, by the way.
Nice to meet you. I'm
Hi,
Katie.
so nice to meet you. Like all these crazy fights and brawls. Oh my gosh.